Good morning and namaskar to everybody, dignitaries on the dais, ministers, MPs and MLAs, and all students of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. I'm extremely happy to be here. There's just so much that I can talk in the context of foreign trade. The minister has also expanded a lot on what's the potential which is before us. And when we talk about skilling the youth, there is this one set of fantastic skilling which is happening through the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade that is readying young minds to understand the economy and also understand how to trade with countries outside, how policies are framed for enabling trade, and also to see how best trade can actually bring that catalytic impact on the Indian economy. So a very high quality, purpose-serving, and absolutely not just an academic qualification, but a skill with which you can contribute to India's policy making and you can contribute to India's policy decisions for enabling trade is actually what is happening here. And I got this feeling from all those who spoke before me that there was this obsession in me to get it to Kakinada. Yes, to get it to Kakinada, to get it to Andhra Pradesh. The minister in charge, Dr. Raju, actually explained as to why Kakinada is a good place for exports and so on. But the underlying fact is that Andhra Pradesh as a state has repeatedly proven itself that it has got the potential for some of the best exports, and even much before full-fledged support came from any government, they had the spirit of entrepreneurship to show that a state with about 700 kilometers of coastal line understood the value of marine exports and has been on the top of it only because of the way in which the marine product exporters in the state have really understood the market requirements of outside world, caught up with the standards which they expect. For that matter, even when you export a product, particularly an edible product, particularly a perishable product, global standards are such today that they go tracing to the last pond where that marine product has come out. Marine, not just into the sea, but also marine-based products which happen in. So the traceability becomes a big issue, and if your quality is not up to the global standards, you're mercilessly rejected. Now, Andhra Pradesh, I give full credit to the marine products growers here for having understood this level of sophistication in marketing these products and cultivating these products, producing and packaging it in such a way that the end consumer gets it absolutely fresh without any doubt about the quality. And that is why Andhra Pradesh today leads in marine product exports. Now, therefore, it is this kind of a drive to produce best of products which will be internationally acceptable, and therefore today you can stand out in the exports is what is required, and that is the potential that Andhra Pradesh is sitting with, whether it is pharmaceutical, whether it is automobile parts, whether it is textiles, whether it is rice and rice-based products inclusive of rice bran oil, or whether it is fruits, vegetables. Amazing capacity lies here. And I would like to therefore draw on the very, very many out-of-the-box way in which Honorable Prime Minister suggests that we support exports. He in fact some of the times when he addressed many of our gathering, even suggested states should now have export promotion offices in the Indian embassies. If you have the capacity to tell the whole world the kind of things that you produce, which are international class, our embassies are the place where you should be and target the markets there.
So he in fact incentivized states to say, please think about the products and be able to access in particular areas where you think market strength lies for you. So he's been thinking about it, one, and also indicating this. Second, this whole idea which Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal ji referred to, districts have strength to export. India is a large country. Many of our states are sizes of some of the European countries themselves. And we have the capacity, even as a district, to be able to capture market outside. So Prime Minister's idea of one district, one product was twofold. One, you aim to capture the new markets. Two, in that district itself, if that product is identified and the manufacturing of that is scaled up to such a level that you're able to do quality exports outside, you have actually won the export struggle. So one district, one product was again an attempt to identify such products in such districts which have a natural capacity, organic capacity, and therefore they can, with the help of the state governments, build common facilities, get these exporters, manufacturers, service providers to be in one place, and then package it in such a way that you are able to export it. One district, one product was one such a thought. Just as one such a thought was, states negotiate through the Indian embassies everywhere and try to capture the market. And the third was the vocal for local idea. We all know some districts who have fantastic handicraft products, fantastic local products which are so enamoring. But do we really have the inclination to promote them, or we think, oh, it's all right, like gar ki murgi dal barabar business? So you think it's all right, it's available in my backyard, it's not a great deal. But those are the kind of things which capture international imagination, and therefore you need that support to be given for the local products. So you have the Commerce Ministry which is working fervently on getting an export policy. Make sure that the ways in which the policy is going to help the exporters by giving incentives, by promoting many things. And one very repetitive line, very relevant line which the minister normally refers is, we can't be exporting taxes. We also should identify ways in which those taxes, whether center, state or local taxes which are on these products, should be removed so that we don't burden the exporters with such items where we really cannot actually derive such much revenue, but you burden them nevertheless. Whether it is electricity or energy costs, whether it is the logistics cost. With better roads coming, better facilitated ports coming, with electronic facilitation for the customs operation coming, surely the logistics element is being little by little addressed, but state governments will also have to spend some time to see that within the state, logistics doesn't become a burden on them. Multimodal approach to logistics and PM Gati Shakti being one, a beautiful protocol with which synergy can be brought in, will have to be worked out. Now these are, like, I'm talking with adult policy makers, adults who are students are here getting trained for trade policy and so on. But I would like to draw the attention of those students who are passing out of I.ఐ.ఎఫ, who are students now, that there are a few things which I'll definitely want to share with you. You might think I'm doing a minister talk, Mantri ji bol rahe hain. Nahin, I have been a student of trade. So I'm talking with you like another student of trade. I'm not talking as a minister, but another student of trade. In my MA, I did a course in trade, my MPhil is in trade, my PhD, which I didn't go to defend, is in trade. So with confidence, I like to tell you that today the trade-related courses will have to become a lot more nimble. You will have to have a comprehensive understanding of what is transpiring in global trade areas. It is not just one country exporting to another or one country buying from another. Multilateral institutions which govern trade have set the global norms
we should understand them. If anything, India's case should be put forward in a far more discerning, understanding way. Trade students or students of subjects on trade will have to understand how each country is handling it. You can't just be reading materials and copy pasting on theories. Oh, China did this, so why don't we do this? Oh, this country, South Korea, did this, why don't we do it? Do we understand enough of our economy to understand where trade should go? So I would think students who are in I.I.F should widen their horizon, should have a lot more multidisciplinary approach to studying trade. Do you understand the legalities of it? Do you understand global laws versus country-specific laws? You have to spend some time on it. Your courses will have to give you a chance to be able to do that extra bit of reading on it. So, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade courses are not going to be the beginning. They are just starting, opening the windows. It's for you all to gather more information and be able to study as to how India's trade policy should reflect the strength of Indian economy, but yet protect India's interest when you're negotiating. So there is the second point which I want to underline. You should have enough trade-related negotiating skills. You're not just data-producing students. You're not just giving papers saying our trade is like this. You should be in the team of the Commerce Minister. When he negotiates trade, you have Indian Economic Service and Indian Trade Service sitting and giving papers from behind, saying, oh, Minister, please can you take this up? But many a times I find them copy-paste. I'm sorry to say this. Copy-paste. The minister doesn't get an advantage because an I.I.F trained student is giving him a clue. He doesn't get an advantage because you're just giving what you read, churned out what is read. You should, your course should give you enough stuff to be able to understand that this point of window should be effectively used and the minister should be given all the information with which he can argue and bargain for India better. So I would suggest to the institution and also to the I.I.F students that your subject, what you learn in the class is good enough, but you should also be versatile enough to read many more things and understand how trade negotiations will have to be conducted. It's one thing for the in-charge minister to say, and I'm fully supportive of that thought. And in fact, I had once earlier also Sumoto interfered in the Commerce Ministry to say, please, on marine products, you better consult with Andhra Pradesh, without that you will not move forward. I did tell him. So consultations with stakeholders is important. But where is the I.I.F alumni? Where are the I.I.F students? Why should it be that only elders who are dealing with these sort of things will talk? As students who are doing the course along with your faculty, if you sense that Commerce Ministry is going to negotiate for some trade agreement with a particular country, don't you have enough stuff to give a suggestion to the minister, a representation to the minister? Please meet him and give, look, from I.I.F, this is what we think you should do. It's up to him whether he wants to take it, whether he will take it partly, fully, whatever, but at least that's how your skill gets built. So I.I.F, instead of being just, MA degree from I.I.F, PhD from I.I.F, diploma from I.I.F, should also actively be engaging for India's trade. I suggest to the Vice Chancellor that he should take it up. The wonderful brains are here. Use them from now. From now, you should have the skill to be able to tell the ministry how to go about it. Of course, minister has his own experience. At the negotiating table, he knows how to take it. But don't you want to be part of it? I would strongly recommend students from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade to take these kind of routes. So you need to be proactive. You have to think out of the box. You also have to do no copy-pasting job. And above all, I'll come back to saying one thing. Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, headquarters in Delhi. There's one in Kolkata. When was this started? 1963? Yeah. In its 60 years, not even in the first 20-30 years had it moved out of Delhi. Sometime in 80s, I think you had the Kolkata set up. 2006. But Kolkata 2006, I know for sure, had all kinds of problems because the land was on a marshy place, the construction was bad, the students couldn't live in a decent accommodation, classes were all dripping with the waters from the ceiling. It's after 2014, and I remember again sending teams to Kolkata to make sure that these are built properly, because students will have to have a healthy environment to be able to conduct their classes. That was sorted out by about 2016. But we didn't wait for the next. The third IIFT in the country is in Andhra Pradesh, and comes to a place which is the New Age Export Center. Kolkata during presidency under the British, Delhi because of the capital of India. But the third institution which comes to a place which it's itself an export hub should have the heft, should have the quality of curriculum, should have students come here not just to understand the classroom mechanics. You should go out and meet up with some of these exporters to understand how it happens. Students should have field experience to know at the time of packaging what happens, which can obstruct India's trade. Your courses should be hands-on, not just with papers. So, well, I don't want to add more time. I know Honorable Minister Piyush will have to take his flight. I just want to highlight, now that I have a captive audience of the ministers here, captive audience of the students I have addressed, the captive audience of the ministers should be told, Andhra Pradesh, post the bifurcation, has had 10 top institutions coming to the state post bifurcation. Prime Minister Modi has never for a moment had second thoughts. He's always said, please, every state should prosper. I want Andhra Pradesh also to prosper. Every state should be given its due. And if it took 60 to 70 years for the rest of the states to get one by one in trickles coming into some states, Andhra Pradesh has got at one go within the first 5 years after its formation. 10 of them. And I'm not just going to say this and walk away. People say, take care, the minister said 10, where is the 10? I'll read out the list for you. The kind of quality institutions which have come to Andhra. AIIMS is set up at Mangalagiri. Indian Institute of Management and Petroleum University is at Visakhapatnam. IISER, which is the India Institution for Science Education and Research, IISCR and IIT, both have gone to Tirupati. NID is in Vijayawada, National Institute of Design, again, which comes under Minister Piyush Goyal. So if all of them have gone to different parts of Andhra Pradesh, IIFT comes to Kakinada. Indian Institute of Packaging, which is yet to take off, I understand, is going to Visakhapatnam. NASIN, which is the Center for Training all IARS officers, and I keep repeating this line, if all Indian Administrative Service officers are trained in Mussoorie, Uttarakhand, close to Dehradun, all IPS officers are trained in Hyderabad, in Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Institution, all IRS officers who take care of GST, who take care of income tax, who take care of customs, who take care of excise, who also do the prevention of narcotics spreading into this country, are to be trained in Anantapur, in Hindupur. So where is Mussoorie, where is Hyderabad, now where is Anantapur? You got it here, Palasamudram. And actively you find government of Andhra Pradesh engaging to complete the project by middle of next year. So Andhra Pradesh gets the best of institutions within the first 5 years when the state was divided into two. Prime Minister Modi is constantly looking at the state to say, Please make sure things work out, they are completed in time and effectively help the state. So I would take this opportunity to say before the young minds, your coming to Kakinada should be seen as you're coming to the hub of export. Oh, sorry, I've missed out on two other things. Tribal University in Vijayanagaram. Again, you might wonder, I don't know, many students may not be from Andhra Pradesh. How many of you are from Andhra Pradesh? Oh, sorry, I should have asked the reverse. How many are not from Andhra Pradesh? Good enough. I just want to tell you why Vijayanagaram should get a tribal university. That area and further is actually once upon a time called the Integrated Tribal Development Agency area. ITDA area, short form, they used to say agency. Full of tribals. And again, for students who are doing foreign trade, Araku coffee comes from there. It's one of the top brands for India. You find it in the high streets of Paris. You now have it everywhere. During some of the best coffee expositions, Araku coffee is on the top league. That comes from that area. So to have a tribal university there and a bulk drug park, it's already a park. I'm talking about institutions of university-like status. But never mind, now that they've told me, bulk drug park comes in place near Kakinada. Other than that, we've heard the minister say textile park has also been given here. So without taking much of your time, the institution being in Kakinada should be a highlight of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. I don't want any one of you all to think that what is Kakinada? Why are we here? You're actually in the hub of exports. You will have to utilize your time being here to understand how exports happen, how other exports can happen, and you should actively engage with both the center and the state governments in promoting trade. I'm extremely happy that we've seen the light of the day in this institution's history. We are happy to have this institution, and I'm sure the Commerce Ministry has been putting a lot of effort to get this going. I'm sure greater number of students will take up the course and be a part of this Kakinada ecosystem. And all the very best to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the motivating words. I request our Vice Chancellor, sir, to propose the vote of thanks.
Let me try to end this function. I'd like to thank the Honorable Finance Minister, the Commerce Minister, the galaxy of dignitaries on stage for having been able to grace our occasions. Madam, let me tell you, we have listened to you, and I want to mention to our state governments let me end this function with a vote of thanks. And Madam, we have taken your words very seriously. And I must mention to the galaxy of ministers, in every state where IFT is established, we have worked with the state government specific issues. We mentioned trade, For example, how do you convert a product into a tradable product? We will think about logistics. We are happy to do that with you. We are a small unit now, and we will take it further into expanding it. And we request you to also involve our faculty in any projects with any help that we can give state government in national objectives. Thank you once again for having graced this occasion. Thank you.
I request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you everyone for your gracious presence. I request everyone to please join us for refreshments arranged outside the auditorium.